Hey, Matt. Did you let him know that I would like to be downtown?
Your Honor?
Yes, but I know.
Would it be possible?
I'm sorry.
Would it be possible if I could have a brief breakout room with my client? I don't know the accommodations that were made, and I appreciate the court trying to make accommodations. My client still has the rod in his leg issue, which I believe he's trying to talk to me about.
Mr. Sharp, does your client still wish to waive his presence for today, or what's he want to do?
If I could have a breakout room with him, Your Honor, I would like to just briefly discuss it myself and
Sure. Ms. Amana, can you give Mr. Sharp in the jail court's iPhone a breakout room, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Judge, on behalf of Mr. Nichols, I would ask for the same courtesy, if possible, after Mr. Shard, so that I can make an appropriate announcement. All I announced was that was Mr. Nichols in that booth. So I would like a breakout session with him as well.
Okay.
And Your Honor, Jim Maloney on behalf of Mr. Myers, I'm not seeing him in a booth, and I have not waived his presence. Nor am I able to. I haven't discussed that with him.
Okay. Can we find out where Mr. Myrick is, please? Does Myrick say he doesn't want to be on a booth or what?
Judge, this is Captain Julie. Can you check your chat, please?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
Thank you.
I did, ma'am. He's talking with his lawyer first, okay? Ms. Bernard, I'll see if I'm trying to see where he is, okay?
Thank you.
Mr. Myrick, that is, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Ms. Amana,
Yes, Your Honor.
can you set Mr. Harvey and Mr. Nichols into a chat room, please?
Mr. Nichols, is he in 5 South?
514, yes, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Bernard, once we take care of a little ministerial on the platform already, your client will be made available, okay?
Thank you, Judge.
Just happened.
Mr. Harvey, where'd your client go to?
Well, I don't know where I went to either. Okay. Well, he's still in the booth, Judge. The problem is that he is muted, and I can't have a conversation with him.
All right, let me see if I can resolve that.
And then I can go back into the chat room.
Hold on. Ms. Amana, can you, we're looking for,
He's on 5.
is it 514?
Yes, Judge, I think it is.
Violetta?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm going to go ahead and unmute it now.
Can you unmute him and then put Mr. Harvey and Mr. Nichols in 514 in the chat room?
Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
No problem. All right, Mr. Sharp, you had an opportunity to talk with your client, Mr. Stillwell.
I have, Your Honor. Myself and Mr. Botts were able to speak with him, and at this point, we feel that Mr. Stillwell needs to be able to communicate with Mr. Botts about the testimony that's anticipated today. So Mr. Stillwell is not waiving his presence.
Is your client tested negative, sir?
My understanding, I haven't heard this from the jail. My understanding from my client is that he was tested and he tested negative.
Okay. All right, sir. Then we will govern ourselves accordingly, and we'll bring him down for the next available section of court. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Harvey?
Judge, regarding Mr. Nichols, two things. He will agree to appear by Zoom, at least for now, moving forward right now. If there's any change in that status, I'll make the announcement, but we're clear to go ahead, number one. Number two, he needs a quick bathroom break, if you can get him a bathroom break, because he has been unable to take that quick break. And then we would be prepared to move forward.
Okay. All right. Mr. Mata, we don't have him back. Can you put him back in the main room, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Stillwell, you're going to have to give up your booth, okay? So, for the time being. Mr. Short, if your client's not amenable to doing it, I'm going to take him off the platform. We're going to replace him with somebody else. Just for the time being.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Ms. Livingston, he can be replaced, Mr. Stillwell.
Officer Bogle, put Myrick in the booth, please.
Max, you repeat what he said?
Mr. Stillwell, they're replacing you with another person in the booth right now. Okay? So just, we're just in a holding pattern. Sit tight.
I'm not in the booth.
Mr. Stillwell, Officer Bogle, put Myrick in the booth, please. Give me a thumbs up if you.
I can approach and get the Zoom ID, I can actually go outside and get a breakout room with Mr. Myrie.
I'm sorry.
If I can get the Zoom ID, I'll approach and get it from Mr. Kearns, then I can do a breakout room. I can step outside and do a breakout room with Mr. Myrie.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm trying to use the restroom.
Okay,
I told him, Mr. Nichols. I told the judge.
It's some officer thinking I'm in the wrong place or something. I don't know what he's talking about. He don't know what he's talking about. He tripping.
All right. Well, I advised the judge that you needed a quick restroom break.
I can't use the restroom. That's what I'm saying, because the officer won't let me. He's saying I'm in the wrong place. I'm somewhere I'm supposed to be, but I don't know what he's talking about though. I'm in court.
we're working on that, Mr. Nichols. Just give me a second, okay?
All right.
Thank you.
Judge,
Sir.
Mr. Harvey, Mr. Nichols will be removed so he can have a restroom break and he'll be brought right back.
All right, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Did you hear that?
Yes, that's not a problem, but it's the officer that's working the tower.
Tell him not to worry about that. Tell him not to worry about that.
Yeah, relax.
Just relax, please.
We got it.
Captain Dooley, I got it. I'll call the floor.
All right.
Ms. Bernard, is that your client in N60?
606, Judge, yes.
Okay, all right. Ms. Amana, can you give a breakout room to Ms. Bernard, please, and the gentleman in 606, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. you're still on mute.
Good morning, Judge. Oh, good afternoon, Judge. I am not seeing my client back out of the room.
Mr. Monarch, can you remove Mr. Monarch out of the booth, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Okay. Your Honor, may I make an announcement?
Yes,
As Mr. Myrick? Okay. In speaking with Mr. Myrick, and given his current situation, Mr. Myrick is waiving his physical presence in the courtroom. However, he wants to be present every day that we have up until trial via Zoom from where he is right now. And then I will be physically in the courtroom, Judge.
Yes, ma'am. That'll be fine.
All right, thank you. And I'm going to log off of this and come back into the courtroom.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Sharp, can you unmute yourself, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Sharp, I know your client, Mr. Stillwell, said he wasn't willing to waive his physical presence. I just had a couple other questions. The first one is, he's still going to have this issue with a rod band in his leg, regardless of whether he's going to be here in court or in the booth. Is that right?
It is. I believe it's because in the booth, they set it up with metal chairs, and that's particularly aggravating the rod in his leg. And so.
How? Because he's sitting on a chair. So how is it different? A wooden chair, padded chair?
I think from my understanding, he needs a padded chair. And they just have those fold out metal chairs, and I don't know. I've never had a rod in my leg. I don't know if the metal on metal affects it or if it's just a weight issue. But that's my understanding.
Okay. Okay, well, he's the only other person that we're trying to account for. So, I'm just trying to make a decision as to whether or not, because he's the only person that, if he's not willing to waive his waive his presence, then I'm going to probably have to put a pin in these proceedings today.
I understand, Your Honor.
No, I don't know if you do really, but that's okay.
I will also, okay. I understand, Your Honor.
Your Honor, Mr. Farley is in the same.
I'm sorry.
Mr. Farley as well. I don't believe is out.
Well, Mr. Farley, yeah. Yes, Mr. Menez.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning.
Were you going to say something, sir? I'm sorry.
Oh, no, Judge. I just heard Mr. Farley's name, so I turned my video on.
Mr. Farley's on the platform, I think, though. Yeah, so. Okay. All right. Okay, well, what I'm going to do now is, who's that? Look out there. Mr. Menez, could you go ahead and introduce yourself, please?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Shard,
I'm sorry, there was an echo.
yeah, I got it. You're good. You're good. Okay, all right. So we'll just talk administrative at this point in time. Council, it doesn't look like it's, that we're going to be able to at least do any more business today. Given the fact that I can account for everyone except for Mr. Stillwell, who doesn't seem to want to waive his presence. That's his right. He probably doesn't want to waive his presence either. But here's what I'm going to do. I think with some of these things, like with Mr. Farley's evidentiary motions, I'm free that are still,
I can't hear them.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, all right, good. Okay, Mr. Menendez, I'm just going to go ahead and table your particular motions for the time being. I can always hear them prior to the witnesses being called, so I'm going to just defer them for a little while because we're kind of running out of time. So don't have to deal with those today, sir. So that will resolve the issue of your client not being there, okay?
Understood, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, good. Okay, all right. As for Ms. Viverito, folks, she's on the platform. She was the person we were supposed to do today. Is that correct, Ms. Rosenwasser?
That is one of the people, Your Honor.
Yes.
All right, and I should say Ms. Love. Okay, all right. Okay, so who else do we have left? We have Mr. McKinney, Mr. Dunbar, and Ms. Stanley. Is that right?
Your Honor, we have Mr. Voss waiting outside today. He's another ballistics expert. He's ready and waiting in the witness room. We also have tomorrow, McKinney still going? Dr. Stanley Sims and Mr. McKinney. And my understanding is that Mr. Steele has 6 experts that he wished to qualify tomorrow. And then we also have Mr. Steele's evidentiary motion to suppress statement, which had been scheduled for this afternoon. So that's what we have left. But our witnesses, we certainly can do at the court's pleasure, either now or before their testimony at trial.
Judge, we have evidentiary motions as well.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Harvey does have those. We just filed our response. I don't believe they've been set for a date, so we would need a date to get our witnesses here for those. But we would have no objection to do those during the trial or before the issues come up at trial.
Yeah, I think the issue that's coming up now is we're running out of time, or time's kind of not on our side in terms of being able to conduct other business. So I may just I think I've dealt with all of the necessary motions that I have to have in order for the trial to go forward. I'll have to deal with the rest of these before the issues comes up in trial, or before that witness is supposed to testify.
Your Honor, if I may.
Yes. You are?
This is Max Shard on behalf of Mr. Stillwell.
All right.
I just wanted to bring it to the court's attention, and I believe that Mr. Harvey is similarly situated. While I appreciate, Your Honor, saying that we can deal with some of these things once trial starts, we do have an outstanding motion to sever charges that I believe is a strong motion regarding one of the counts, one against Mr. Stillwell, one against Mr. Nichols, that would affect the indictment itself.
I thought we did those already. I thought I don't believe those already.
No, Judge, not as to Mr. Nichols and as to the firearm count. That's the last count in the indictment.
Your Honor, I believe Mr. Shart at least filed his motions last week, so they were filed fairly late, untimely, which is why we were not able to respond to them, and they weren't done. They were not done within the court scheduling order requiring motions to be filed by the first.
Your Honor, I'm still getting discovery on that case, but that is a non-evidentiary motion. That is just a legal motion, and I just wanted to bring it to the court's attention because obviously we would need to sort that out before we start the proceedings.
All right. Well, Ms. Rosenwasser, can we deal with that tomorrow?
Deal with the emotions or the issue itself?
I don't know. Clear. Your Honor, which specific issues does the court want me to deal with tomorrow?
Mr. Shart and Mr. Harvey's motions to sever.
To sever the firearms counts that are at the end of the indictment.
I don't know how many seconds. I can try.
I didn't file it late.
Yes, he did not file it.
Thank you, Mr. Harvey, because that's that.
Your Honor, we can deal with Mr. Nichols tomorrow, but because Mr. Stillwell filed late, we haven't had a chance to respond. So we'd ask that if you're going to have the ability to respond to it, we haven't had time. I believe the email was sent last Thursday, so the 26th.
And Your Honor, I'm not trying to be difficult, and that's fine. It's the exact same issue. We are exactly similarly situated to Mr. Harvey. It's the exact same legal issue. It's just a matter of can charges from separate incidents be joined in the same indictment?
We will make an effort to be ready whenever the court would like to.
We got to resolve that issue because I had planned on at least tomorrow to discuss the people that need to be severed before next week. So it's probably timely. We probably need to take care of that so I can at least kind of figure out.
That's fine. We'll be ready for
Yeah, so let's do those tomorrow morning. If worse comes to worse, I mean, because they are legal motions, so we should be able to deal with those. Yes, Ms. Bernard.
I had joined in a motion to dismiss that and double jeopardy, and I added my double jeopardy claim on behalf of Mr. Myrick. But it was a motion that they asked and attorney I'm sorry, had filed. I'm not aware of court's ruling. I didn't see an order, and I don't know whether
Okay, I'm going to deny that motion. Ms. Rosenwalsh, if you would go ahead and please do an order. If it's the same, you have anything extra you want?
What I added, as it relates to Mr. Myrick, Judge, he's already pled and been indicted, pled and been fined and under sentence on acts in the indictment for count 36 and 37, which is an armed robbery and an aggravated assault from 2015. My client is under sentence. He pled guilty in 2016. And he is being, additionally, in this indictment, he has to defend himself against that for the RICO count. And he's already handled that. That's double jeopardy under 16, I think it's 7-1, I'm sorry.
Madam.
We've already addressed that in numerous other motions.
We have. Ms.
The court's already issued orders.
Yeah. No, but no. Ms. Bernard, you're absolutely right. And for those same reasons I've already stated earlier, I'm going to deny the motion. Okay. But okay. All right. Okay, folks, in terms of other All right, folks, here's what I'm going to do. I think the first thing tomorrow is to do the motions to sever. Now I know you have Ms. Viverito still. You got Mr. Voss. You got Mr. McKinley, Mr. Dunbar, Ms. Sim Stanley. My fear, folks, is that like I said, we're running out of time in terms of the ability for the court to hear these and rule on these. We may just have to take them up as they're presented during trial. So, any other issues, folks, in terms of that? I mean, I'd like to be able to accommodate you, but I don't have any time next week. We're supposed to begin jury selection 5, 6, 7. So, 4, 5, 6, I should say. Thank you. And the other thing I'm kind of battling against is folks that are still kind of under the weather. And so if I can get everybody here tomorrow, we may be able to take up some of these other folks. But in the absence of that, we're going to have to kind of just wait until till we have some time before that witness is called.
Your Honor?
Yes, Mr. Williams.
My client, Mr. Ryan, would like to have his Feretta hearing.
We may be able to do that today.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Okay. Any other ministerial that I need to, that anybody else wish to be heard on?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. Menendez.
Your Honor, I would just want to know the mechanism for seeing the test results of Mr. Farley's for the reason why we were on video today. That's all. I just need some guidance from the court about that.
He's tested positive. I understand that because of that, that's why he was not brought over. Okay? So, have you been tested, sir?
No, Your Honor, I haven't. I guess I'll follow up with the court staff about that, what the protocol is for me to be allowed physical.
At the table with the rest of the folks that were, that tested positive, I would think that you want to go ahead and at least see if, just to satisfy yourself, you're sitting right next to Mr. Sharp and Mr. Botts.
Yes, Your Honor.
I mean, that's be responsible for the rest of us here. But I can't force you to do that. But I would certainly think that might be prudent.
Yes, Your Honor. That's right.
Satisfy yourself. All right, but yes, that's why your client was not brought over, and he probably will not be brought over tomorrow because the jail is, I should say, protocol is usually they're isolated for 5 days. So that's why I'm making him available.
Okay.
That answer your question? I mean, and tomorrow would just be for any other ancillary proceedings that we might have. But in the absence of that, then I certainly will probably have to wait until later to finish your motions.
Yes, Your Honor, that's no problem at all. I just wanted to inspect or verify those test results as his attorney.
You don't think that do you think that the jail is not being candid with you?
It's a possibility, Your Honor, but
you are welcome to file whatever motion you need to, or take that up with the jail.
Understood, Your Honor.
As you see fit, sir. Okay.
Yes, of course.
All right. Anybody else? Yes, Mr. Matthews.
Yes, Your Honor. I would want to caution Mr. Huey, it's my understanding, is either a cellmate or roommate with Farley. And I'm concerned, just out of protocol, that maybe the jail can take some type of accommodations to make sure that Mr. Huey, who has tested negative up to this point, remains in that position and doesn't get exposed to his roommate who has tested positive. Those are my concerns. Maybe the jail will take some steps. We're sitting there back. I've got to sit next to him. I don't want him to get sick. I don't want to get it. I don't hand it off to a skinny colleague who's sitting.
I'll talk to Captain Julie. Okay. All right. Anybody else?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Your Honor, Mrs. Williams has two additional motions, Your Honor, a motion to suppress that I thought we were going to hear today. However, I didn't know what the court's positioning is on those two. They are evidentiary motions. They are motions to suppress that could be heard. Sure, they are evidentiary motions that could be heard prior to trial, but just wanted the court to be aware of those two outstanding motions as well.
I think the problem is that Ms. Hilton, is that even though that those are only related to Mr. Williams, since you got a RICO count, everyone else has opted in and wants to be present for all motions. So that's the issue that's going to come up.
Thank you, Your Honor. We just had two witnesses here, so we wanted to know we would be able to release them.
So that's the problem with that. Mr. Steele?
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
Leave this on, I guess. Can I just make sure that I'm correct that Dr. Dunbar is flying from the state of Nevada, but tomorrow he has plane reservations and can come? Should I have him come, Your Honor, or is that something that I shouldn't do?
As you can see, I mean, it's kind of like it's going to depend. It's much going to depend upon whether or not your colleagues wish to waive their client's presence, or they'll be available via Zoom. I think waiving is not really the issue, because that's most people don't. I wouldn't, from a constitutional basis, I don't think that that's something they probably would do. But for the folks who are COVID positive, those folks I will probably still take at the jail. Are we going to be able to finish him in a day? That's the thing is.
Where would the court? I just don't want him to fly here and then, not get taken. I could cancel him and we could do it at another date certain. It's no problem. I just wanted the court to, whatever's convenient for the court, and we will do it.
Oh, it's not a question of convenience, Mr. Steele. I think this is a question of availability for and the fact that we are kind of battling two fronts. One of them is just time, and the other one is people that are just unfortunately becoming sick or whatever else. So. I mean, I can check with the folks that are on the platform who are going to probably be. Mr. Menendez?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here.
All right, Mr. Farley's probably going to be on. He's going to be via Zoom tomorrow, because he's still going to be under a COVID protocol.
Yes, Your Honor, we don't have any, we would waive our physical presence. I need to speak with Mr. Farley, but my guess is that we would waive our physical presence for the motions that don't involve him. For example, Mr. Steele's motions and anything else. We would reserve, though, our right to have everyone in person for those motions to suppress of ours that we already discussed.
Sure. Okay. All right. Ms. Bernard? For Mr. Myrick, I think, would you be willing to waive his physical presence and he could appear via Zoom tomorrow?
Considering his current status, that's what we discussed, he will be present by Zoom.
Okay, that's two. And who else do we have? Mr. Harvey?
Good afternoon, Judge. I think Mr. Nichols would make the exact same announcement that we were going to make for today, so we will be available by Zoom if he's feeling okay and up to it, and he seems to be. So we'll be here tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
Is that right, Mr. Nichols?
Okay.
Your Honor, if I can briefly address Mr. Steele's position. The only person that he really wanted to be over here for is Mr. Rito. Anything else he'll waive his presence today. Other things he wants. Only for that he was requesting that he come over to he was the supervisor. I thought he made something that come up.
Okay, I'm sorry, Judge. I didn't understand any of that. It's hard to understand on the platform here.
Can you go to a microphone, Mr. Botts?
Make it clear to the court, Mr. Stillwell will waive his presence for anybody but Ms. Viverito, which she was scheduled to start today for cross. But yes. Other than her, you can proceed with any other witnesses you want to or any other hearings today, right now. And I hate to bring that up, but that's our position.
Okay. All right.
So
thank you, Mr. Botts. I appreciate that.
Yes.
All right. Anybody else? So, counsels, this is from a scheduling standpoint. Do you want to go ahead and see? Mr. Steele, do you have any other witnesses or any other experts you're going to try and qualify? Mr. Dunbar is, or Dr. Dunbar is coming from Colorado?
The state of Nevada.
Nevada?
We have Jim Persinger. He's local. I have to call him, but he maybe can come tomorrow if the court thinks that's appropriate in time. And then we have Dr. Eric Nielsen. He's in the state of New York, I believe. I'd have to call him and see if he can come here tomorrow. We have another professor from California. I have to speak with her to determine whether she can make it here tomorrow. I don't have those reservations done, Your Honor.
What type of a doctor is Dr. Dunbar?
He goes to the motion that's outstanding about using hip-hop or rap lyrics in this trial against Mr. Williams under both the Constitution as well as the statute, freedom of speech, as well as a 24-4-403 analysis. And he's done studies on the topic. I've given all of his work to this honorable court and the prosecution, as well as his CV.
Okay.
And that's why before that motion or during that motion, I wanted him to testify. So if we're arguing that motion, that's really what he is for. He's really not a trial witness. He was just for that motion.
Okay. All right, State. What's your thoughts about doing Mr. Dunbar tomorrow, Dr. Dunbar tomorrow?
We can be ready to handle Dr. Dunbar tomorrow. We also have two of our witnesses scheduled for tomorrow. Dr. Stanley Sims, Melissa Stanley Sims, who's available tomorrow morning, and
She's a medical examiner?
yes, Your Honor.
All right, she won't take that long. Okay, who else?
And potentially Mr. McKinney. But Your Honor, Mr. McKinney, due to medical needs, would need to be via Zoom. So if the court's amenable to that, just with all the medical things that have been happening, that would be our only issue with him. But he's available via Zoom tomorrow.
Does he has he tested positive for COVID or something?
No, Your Honor. There's other.
Okay. Yes.
And Your Honor, we do have Mr. Voss here today. If the court would like to hear from him today, he's available and he's here. He's a ballistics.
Yeah, we can do Mr. Voss, it looks like, so we could probably take care of him today.
And Your Honor, our question is, we had planned for all of Mr. Steele's experts tomorrow as well, and we just want to know whether we should plan to go ahead with them or not to go ahead with everyone except Dr. Dunbar. We just want to know, we want to make sure that we're ready for the court.
Well, it's up to Mr. Steele. Had you planned on calling all your witnesses tomorrow, Mr. Steele?
No, but I can make a phone call and see if they can get here, if that's better.
Your Honor, that is what we had planned for Mr. Steele's. I believe that was the request that he had made of the court, that he be allowed to present his witnesses. Forgive me, Mr. Steele, if I'm misstating something that you have previously said. So that is what we were expecting for tomorrow, but if that is not something to which the court is amenable, then we'd just like to like to know at what time the court or what day the court will be hearing those witnesses, and certainly we have no objection to the court's accommodation of any restrictions.
Mr. Steele, I don't have any. I think that he should definitely. We'll hear from Dr. Dunbar. I think that the other issue related to that was your colleague, Mr. Adams, indicated that there may be some questions from voir dire that may be relative to that particular issue. So that might be the reason why we need to take it up. So to the extent that we can do we're going to do your witnesses, Mr. Steele, as well as Mr. McKinney.
Dr. Sim Stanley, Your Honor.
Dr. who?
Dr. Sim Stanley, Melissa Sim Stanley.
Yeah. Well, can you get her this afternoon by chance?
I don't believe she's available this afternoon, but we can certainly make a call and see. I do not believe she's available until tomorrow.
And Your Honor, the court will permit the state an opportunity in the form of about 2 minutes or 3 to speak with Mr. Steele regarding his witnesses, or Mr. Adams regarding their witnesses. We would appreciate that opportunity.
Sure. I can recess in place.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
Mr. Steele and Mr. Adams.
What did I say? 7 out.